Is this tiny little pillow worth your hard-earned money? It's a Nemofillo Elite pillow, and it's especially for backpacking. Let's go over its features. To give you a little background on our camping pillow adventures, we've actually been using the Nemofillo. Both Greg and I have one. And since Greg has switched to a quilt, he actually has been using the Trekology because it has a strap that can go around his sleeping pad. We really like the Nemofillo, but we wanted to lighten our load, so we wanted to try the Elite. We've had some mixed feelings about it. The Elite has 2 color options, but they seem to be changing that every season. For size-wise, it comes in at 15 by 11 by 3. In comparison to the Fillo, it is 17 inches long with the 11 wide and a little bit over 3 inches thick. So thickness-wise, it's just a tiny bit smaller, as you can see, and lengthwise is definitely shorter. When camping, I actually think that the Elite is just a little bit too small for my preference. Greg actually is a-okay with it. Weight is important for backpackers, and this thing comes in at 3 ounces, just barely, 2.9 ounces. Whereas the Fillo is actually heavier because it does have that extra padding. It's 9 ounces, so it's quite a bit of difference, especially if weight is a concern for you. Now the Trekology pillow comes in at 3.6, so it is quite a bit lighter than the Fillo and very close to the Elite size. The Fillo is actually just a heavy, heavy pillow. Not really, but it's heavy when you're thinking about backpacking. Looking at the material of the Elite, it actually is more like a pillowcase that you would have on your pillow at home. It's like a jersey blend, whereas the Trekology, nothing. It really has a very light texture on it. This is actually soft. We actually thought that there was a thin layer of foam under the cover, but it's actually the PrimaLoft, the insulation portion of it. It is very thin, but it does give a little extra padding to the pillow itself. The pillow has a simple valve system. I think it's pretty easy, but there are people that have been complaining about it. The first thing you need to do is you need to twist it to unlock it, and then you can either pull it up to let air out and blow air in, and then once you're done, you can push it down and then twist it to lock. And the valve sticks up off the pillow. It does not go inside of it. And that might be why people don't like it. The pillow has an internal baffle system, so it's going to hold its shape like a normal pillow at home. Like the Fillo, this pillow also has an internal sack system. So you just deflate it, and then you're going to open up this little compartment, and their little bag is on the inside right here. You're going to fold it, and then it folds into itself. It's always a little tricky, I find. I find it such a pain in the butt that I actually just chuck it into my bag without putting it into the stuff sack. So it is super tiny. Like, here's the cell phone, here's the bag. It is smaller than the cell phone. Here's the size difference between the Fillo and the Elite, and you can see it's quite a bit smaller.
One advantage of this pillow is it's part of, I guess you would consider it Nemo's system, and it works with their sleeping bags really well. Let me show you. We'll get out one of my sleeping bag here. This is the Nemo Forte 20, and if we look inside the hood here, they have a very spacious hood system. You can see that there's this pocket, and it's not a super huge pocket. The other Fillos that we have actually work in there, but they're kind of bloated and they don't quite totally fit. They kind of want to stick out. But if you shove this guy in here and then blow it up, and you shove it in there, you can see there that it's all integrated into your sleeping bag hood, and you don't have to worry about your pillow going flying away in the middle of the night. One thing you can do is you can tilt this pillow up on its side, and it's kind of hard to see. So like, I like to do this when I'm ready to go to bed. If I'm looking at my phone or something, I can get a little bit more height. It's not the most comfortable, but at least get your head up a little bit, and then when you're ready for bed, you can put it back down. So I do like that it integrates in with the rest of the Nemo system if you're doing that, and that's kind of the one little caveat where I can recommend this pillow, is if you have a Nemo bag, you want to just put a Nemo pillow in there because it just works really well. I can recommend that. What I can't recommend is, to me, it seems like a very expensive pillow. As Kelly mentioned earlier, I've moved to a quilt in the summertime. I tried this pillow and because I wanted to make it work. You know, you're moving to a lighter quilt. I wanted a lighter pillow. I have to have a pillow, by the way. And I couldn't make it work. This thing wouldn't last more than a few minutes, and it would be like, and it was shooting off the edge or whing off to the side. This thing does not have anything on the bottom that would keep it in place. Plus, there's no strap. Why do they don't put straps on here? I don't know. Hopefully they will at some point. Because if this had a strap, then I could recommend it. Since this didn't work for my quilt, I ended up getting the Trekology, giving that a try. And that actually has worked really well. It's got the little rubber nubs and it has the strap. It's not quite as comfortable with this material, but honestly, I don't have too much problems with it. Now, with that being said, this kind of boils down to a bigger problem in the industry is when it comes to ultralight equipment. It seems if you tack on the word light or lighter or anything with light in it, the price goes up 20% or 40% or whatever. If I look at these pillows, honestly, to me, this one should cost more. It's got way more material. It's a bigger pillow. This one, and I mean, it's the same general technology. The only thing this thing has that this one doesn't is this one has a little layer of insulation. Is that worth an extra cost? Now, don't get me wrong. I actually think this is a decent pillow. I personally just think it should be cheaper. If I had any pillow to grab, I'm going to grab this one first. If I'm going to be backpacking a long ways and I don't want to carry the weight, I would definitely grab this one. If I'm using my quilt, I'm going to grab this one. That being said, Nemo has an excellent warranty, so if anything were to happen to it, it does have a lifetime warranty. If you have a Nemo sleeping bag, this easily slides right into that little pillow pocket. That's really nice, and if the price isn't a big deal, I would say this is a good option. As you can see, we actually have a lot of Nemo gear, and we think they actually make some quality stuff. You just have to decide for yourself if that fits your scenario. If you've used this pillow, let us know in the comments how you actually like it. Go watch this video next. You can find us at exploretrekadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.